Recovering from a relationship that destroyed my mental physical health, but something new on horizon maybe. Hi guys. I am 24, dated a girl F25 for 2 months before asking her to be my GF, where the relationship lasted just over 1 year. At the beginning everything was perfect. I was absolutely in love and could see myself marrying this girl and becoming a stepdad to her daughter. A few months into the relationship, issues started to arise. I of course ignored them like a fool. Listed below. 1. Looking through my FB friends, Insta followers and who I was following to see how many females I had. Same for Snapchat. 2. Getting annoyed female company workers had my phone number and I had theirs. They were supervisors, managers, and I'm security, so I need them for work. She knew this. 3. I work minimum 9 hours shifts and she disliked the amount of females around me at work and began accusing me of cheating, making me uncomfortable in work. 4. I never added any female onto my socials after the relationship began, but she had me remove females from my Snapchat, Facebook and Instagram or phone numbers if I had them too. 5. Would question why females would approach and hug me when out. These would be regular punters at bars I work at. My ex-GF met me while working as a bouncer, for context. 6. She carried other personal insecurities, issues from previous relationships, and if she had a bad day I would be a verbal punching bag. 7. I had to maintain constant contact all day long. If I didn't I would get "you okay, is something wrong?" messages on Snapchat or WhatsApp. 8. I had to help her solve her problems, give all the effort, but she would then throw it in my face and say she'd sort it herself. Even with all this I still loved and cared for her and her daughter. Even going to the gym for alone time was lost, as she'd start accompanying me and joined the same PT as me. He's an old friend from school. I continued onwards with the relationship, giving up my mental health and physical health to help her and solve her issues. When best man for my best friend, she couldn't let me enjoy the day. Me being sat on the top table and her at a separate table, I was hounded with texts, snaps and one phone call. I had to go down to her between dishes. In the back of my head I knew it wasn't going well, but ignored it. Eventually the effects started showing via my mood and physically via my face and body. She would then cross the line, ringing me at wood, metaphorically cornering me, shouting and crying down the phone at me, name calling and verbally attacking me. Trying to pressure me into exit. I broke, told her I was done and hung up. All my co-workers overheard the emotional call as for the first time in a long time tears slipped from my eyes. Kind of relieved also, because for the 3-4 weeks prior I was already debating breaking up with her as I was getting worse and felt empty, hollow and no fight left in me. I was then harassed all night with texts and calls. Her mum had to calm her down and get her to stop. We spoke the next night in person, deciding to give it a few weeks to start fixing ourselves with rules like, no contact except on Saturdays, talk to family and friends, no harassing each other, etc. She broke all the rules in 3 days. With this ongoing, my health spiraled downwards. No sleep, sickness, I gave up the gym, not eating and dark thoughts. I finally broke. After 2 hours of arguing we broke up. I was in tears, barely could walk. She ran out of her own house, which I had to lock up after her screaming about how I obviously never loved her, I didn't care about the relationship like she did, if I can so easily walk away, etc. Suddenly I was victim turned perpetrator. Next weeks were spent with her harassing me via Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, phone calls from her phone, or stealing her mum's to ring me off. All supposedly in the pursuit of answers, but that's bullshit, as I told her everything, gave her every answer that night I broke up with her, How she hollowed me out, destroyed my mental physical health. I gave her everything, my heart and soul, yet it still wasn't enough. It was the hardest thing to walk away and save myself or slowly lose myself by staying and risk doing something stupid to myself. I'm recovering from that, doing okay, I think so anyway, from all the support from friends and family. However, a girl from work started making contact with me, and at her leaving drinks she kissed me. She has been some of the support via friends and helped me a lot, so she knows what I've been through. We've FaceTimed and phone called on a semi-regular basis since she moved away. We've discussed things I never discussed with my ex-GF, as I didn't feel comfortable to in case of backlash. I feel I could be growing feelings for this girl. I feel a deeper connection with her than I possibly did my ex, but I fear I'm moving on too soon. My previous relationship ended approx 2-3 mths ago. I know there are aspects I'm still recovering from, and she knows this too, and I told her I don't want something overly serious right now. Yet my heart throbs when she calls or texts me, as I feel far more at home and happy with her than I have in such a long time, and I feel happy. I'm flying over to see friends in another city for a break away from everything to rejuvenate myself and come home a new man. However, she also lives in this city and wants to meet. Should I? Any advice is appreciated on this. Thank you everyone in advance. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1, your ex sounds like she has mental health issues or has a bad personality. Maybe she's been in a string of similar relationships to yours. I think an important part of knowing a partner is to pick up on the smaller hints that the person does something that you sense are not right. Maybe you would be best to proceed slowly with the new woman, go on a date, be truthful about your situation, without talking excessively about it, and see how things go from there. You may find that it helps you move on from your past, and maybe you'll really like her and vice versa. The important thing is to be honest and respectful in relationships and communicate well. Good luck. Redditor 2, few things. 1. Sorry that happened to you, glad you got out of it too. 2-3 months, generally, is not too soon to start thinking about seeing someone new. 3. You gotta think about prioritizing yourself a little bit here. Doesn't mean no women, but have your guard up. On 3, I'm a little concerned by your summary. I feel I have a far deeper connection with than I did with my ex. You were with your ex for over a year. Obviously, it was a disaster, but don't you think it's a little off to feel a deeper connection with someone like, immediately? Like, without even having dated. I realize this isn't someone you just met, but I worry you're letting yourself get swept away by the romantic idea of someone new who can solve all your problems, instead of approaching this soberly. Answer, thank you, I appreciated all you've said. Was worried about the too soon yet only 2-3 months. In regards to your concern, I completely understand and see what you mean. I should have explained better. I feel a deeper connection might be the wrong way to describe it. What I mean is that I can be fully open, I can talk about anything and everything without judgment or fear of it being used against me as a weapon later on. I can fully be me. She's been supportive and helpful in my recovery, especially now I've been left with insecurities from all of it, where she's helping me unlearn all the crap from it. I can be vulnerable and feel safe, which makes such a difference. I think that's a better explanation of what I meant by deeper connection, as maybe I can actually start to connect in a health way. Story 2, I-21M broke her 20th heart today. Hello relationship community, hope you are all doing well. I'm creating this post because I need to vent and get advice how to cope. Any input is appreciated, thanks. My ex-GF20F and I-21M met this past spring here in my home country of Canada. She was here from Germany as an au pair, basically a nanny for host family. We met through online dating, and from the first date we hit it off really well. She is extremely beautiful, and has such a great personality, sharing many things in common with me. From the very first date there was a deep sense of attraction, from the way she looked at me to the way she showed genuine interest in who I was. It almost scared me in a way that I might fall in love with her. I had to protect myself by communicating with her that I would really love to continue going on dates, showing her what my country has to offer and enjoying each other's company, but to only expect this to last while you were here in Canada. Though I found out later that this would not be enough. She agreed with this, and our adventure together started. Our relationship started off great, going on dates ranging from movies, restaurants and cozy nights in. We found many things in common, and our fiery attraction burned hotter each time. Before I knew it, we were soon spending the majority of the week together doing the things we loved. We would cook for each other, go to the gym, listen and share music with each other, all meanwhile developing love for each other. I've had relationships in the past, but nothing that has felt so deeply passionate as this one has. Things started to get more serious very quickly. I invited her out to my cabin, which is my favorite place in the whole world. This is not something I would show just anyone, as it had a deep meaning in my life. I grew up here practically, and I shared many of these stories and places with her on our weekend trip. Each place and story I shared with her she absorbed, and enjoyed, meanwhile looking at me with those starry eyes that would just make me melt every time. Everything just felt right in this moment here. This trip, I feel like, has bonded us, and we both became attached to each other. We would spend the next months doing everything together. She taught me how to play tennis, which we both really enjoyed playing. We went to cool events such as music festivals, Canada Day celebrations and art exhibitions. We made a bucket list early on with all the stuff we wanted to do together while she was here, which consisted of 35+ activities. To my surprise, we actually ended up being able to complete all of them and had great fun doing so. It is now the final weeks of which she is in Canada, and reality is feeling like it is setting in. By this point I have developed strong feelings for her, which I have not intended but did not fight, because what we had going was just too good. This is stuff you could write a love story about, and I was living in it. I knew deep down that this day was coming, but I just tried to ignore it and keep it off my mind. I think this was a mistake because it's so hard now, but I just didn't want to ruin what we had going on. I really care for her and her feelings. So I ask her what she wants, and she tells me that she knows that I said from the beginning that I don't want to do long distance, but she needs to go home and does not want to end things with me. It was deep talk on what things would look like and how we could maybe make it work, because we had something special going on. The conclusion was that we would give LDR a try. The day before she left, we went out for a fancy steak dinner with her friends she made here, and it was a wonderful time. They would ask me if I was sad that she was leaving the next, to which I responded that today is the day we are going to be celebrating and enjoying each other, and tomorrow will be the day I will be sad to see her leave. Later on we went to a karaoke bar, and she really enjoyed watching me embarrass myself in front of hundreds of people. It's now the day that she leaves, and the moods have definitely changed, both knowing we won't be able to see each other for a long time again. It makes it difficult to keep your cool. I drove her to the airport with all of her stuff and helped her find where she needs to check in. This was very stressful for me. We eventually got to the point where we will have to split ways. We take a moment to kiss each other goodbye, and hug each other. As she is going through customs, I wait there making sure she gets through no problem and looking at her for the last moments I can. I couldn't keep it in any longer and I cry there at the airport. Things after this just get tough, as I'm sure some of you know. You spend a large portion of time with your so then it seems as if the next moment they are gone. For 3 months I tried doing the video calls, I've wrote letters, made care packages, texted her daily. It just isn't the same for me. Our relationship was deeply intertwined with our experiences together and physical affection that after we went LD it felt like a lot was missing. I just became very sad to the point where it was starting to affect my motivation, career and studies. Then there was the logistics of things. We had an end goal of living together but we didn't know where. After research I learned that I don't want to live in Germany and she doesn't think she could live in Canada forever, nor am I asking that of her. Before we even could live together she needs to study 3-5 years in university. I myself am working on developing my skills and pursuing a career, and moving to a country where English isn't the first language would be incredibly difficult for me. As time moved on and the magic kind of wore off, I had to start asking myself the hard questions. I decided I had to end things because I feel like I am not being fair to her, that I am not able to treat her how she deserves to be treated, and I can't be there to protect her and support her when she needs it. Today, I ended things with her. It was one of the most difficult things I had to do. There was no fights. No cheating, nothing went wrong. She did an incredible job in trying to keep me happy and I tried as well. Unfortunately my feelings started to change and it's something I wish wouldn't happen. I wish I could be happy in a LDR. I wish our circumstance was different. It made sure that I let her down easy on good terms. Our FaceTime call was 4 hours long and was very emotional. I assured her that she did nothing wrong and that it was just purely our situation and that I'd always be there for her if she ever needed me. I don't think I've cried this much forever, and this has been such an incredibly sad and difficult thing. It hurts seeing those once starry eyes turn teary. Thank you if you made it to the end here. It helps being able to vent somewhere. If you have any suggestions on coping, comments on my story, or you want to share your experiences with me, please do so. Thanks again. Story 3, wife broke down crying at dinner table over ex-boyfriend. Me, 42M, wife, 42F. We have been married for almost a year. Together for 3. Scenario: having dinner, eating and drinking wine. Just one glass of wine, not getting drunk. Her daughter 12 asks about her ex-boyfriend, as in what happened, why they broke up more than 4 years ago, and my wife breaks down at the table, full on crying, gets up and leaves the table. We are just stuck in slow motion at the table. Her daughter says thought she would have been over that by now, and I say the same. We talk about it privately, and she says that she was hurt by him and his betrayal. He left her for another woman but 4 years ago, and I'm now married to her. She says her episode was a result of the pain from the betrayal, not from feelings for him. I'm having a hard time with this, as it seems like there are some leftover feelings for him she isn't telling me about. I'm feeling like maybe I'll never live up to what they had together. Her daughter isn't biologically related to the ex-BF. The energy in our house is very heavy. Help. Trying to get past it. Update, just for clarity, he didn't cheat on her. He did betray her and did leave her for a good friend of hers. So yeah, bad situation. They were living together for 5 years. I am grateful for all those who have written in and given their thoughts. It helps a lot. Thank you. I will have a conversation with her about it, and us moving past it. I believe her when she says she doesn't have feelings any longer for him. It was just hard last night when my head was spinning from that episode. So hard to see it that way. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, when I found out my then fiancé was cheating on me, I threw up. I still have a very visceral reaction when I think about that time, now almost 9 years later. I am in a wonderful relationship now and have not a shred of positive emotion towards my ex. But the feelings were still very intense and still reverberate sometimes. Redditor follow-up, same. I love my current partner and have no feelings for my ex, but the feelings of betrayal and the psychological damage he caused still lingers. If I have to see him or if someone brings him up, I still react because it was a very negative time in my life with bad memories. It's more remembering the person I was, what he put me through, that causes distress. Redditor 2, her daughter took her by surprise and apparently poked a sore spot when she asked about why they had broken up. Your wife may very well have been surprised by the strength of her own reaction. How awkward for her to be asked that by a child, too, and perhaps not know how to answer without either having to lie or going into more adult details than you want to share with a 12-year-old. Please don't make this into something about your relationship. Bring your wife some flowers and try to show that you understand emotions can be a little messy at times, and that's okay. Bonus, you'll be showing your wife why the man she married is a better man than the asshole who cheated, too. Redditor follow-up, bonus, you'll be showing your wife why the man she married is a better man than the asshole who cheated, too. This part is amazing and so true. She will know that and it will touch her heart in a way she won't forget. Redditor 3, a guy left me for another woman in the most horrible and degrading fashion that I was upset for years afterwards just thinking about it. If I was at all unprepared for the memory, I would have burst out crying too. Even while wanting to rip his stupid face off. The fact that 12-year-old daughter didn't know makes me think she could be 100% honest, and buried that pain with "I don't want to talk about it" before now. Kids are curious though, so eventually daughter thought she could ask. Your wife needs someone to talk to who won't be judgmental about this, like a therapist. Please don't hold her having feelings against her. Try to problem solve with her instead of assume the worst about her actions here. Good luck. Redditor follow-up, I hope you are right. As a woman myself, I think she isn't over her ex. Even it was a painful experience, she should at least talk about it. Op probably should ask the daughter why she brought it up. Yeah, therapy sounds about right. Flowers and chocolate isn't never wrong.